First of all, Reverend, I'd just like to say it's a pleasure to be able to interview a lot of my age group, the 18 to 34-year-old audience, have been begging to hear from me. We get a chance to see you on television, and most of us that aren't cluttered with all the other things on TV actually get a chance to pay attention. I was fortunate enough to be in Chicago. I was fortunate enough to grow up in Push. So I have a different understanding of you than it seems to be the case with some of my youth. They feel that we're not connected anymore. They feel that when it comes to voting, most of them pay attention for the rallies. And my experience with dealing with a lot of young adults is that when it comes to election time, they don't really know the candidates. They don't really know the issues. What can we do as citizens? Because I was told by people here, and some people, like even my godmother, Jeanette Wilson, she told us that it was our job as well to try to influence our peers.
Well, it is your job to become informed because others will exploit your ignorance. You can't say I'm ignorant because there's no acceptable reason to be ignorant when that information does exist. So one has to be diligent in pursuit of life-saving information. Strong minds break strong chains. During the 246 years of slavery, it was illegal for us to learn how to read and write. If a slave master raped an African woman, she was his property. If he beat or lynched a black man, it was his property. And they had no standing in the court. If he were caught teaching one how to read or write, he could go to court. And even then, strong minds break strong chains. And so when you have the chance to develop your mind, since it's the engine that drives everything else, except no reason for not knowing what you ought to know to survive. Secondly, July 1960, I came home from school trying to use a public library and couldn't use it. Along with 7 classmates, I was arrested. Trying to use a public library, trying to get some information. Our images then were of the Little Rock Nine opening the doors of education at Central High in Arkansas. It was images of Arthur and Lucy going to the University of Alabama. It was the image of Charlene Galt and Hunter going to the University of Georgia. We were fighting to break down educational doors. It was not images of freedom without responsibility and self-degradation. I think what may be confusing for some people, freedom was never our goal. Freedom was the precondition to fight for the goal. In other words, if you're not in a boxing match and you are a better fighter, but your hands are tied behind your back and I knock you out, it doesn't mean I'm the better fighter and you're the lesser fighter. It means you were unfree. But suppose one day you get unshackled. You don't get a crown for that. That's when you begin to train for the fight. So freedom is the beginning of the struggle, not the end of it. Because you can be free to be ignorant or free to be intelligent. Free to be illiterate, free to be literate. Free to be just and kind, or free to be greedy. So life is full of choices and consequences. So I say to this generation, you have the most freedom and the most opportunity and the most responsibility to make the most of your right decisions. Therefore, in your freedom, don't self-destruct with drugs and liquor and guns. In your freedom, don't self-degrade. They're calling each other names that are hurtful to the integrity of the struggle of our people. In your freedom, use that internet to get good information, know who candidates are, and know what we need. What do we need today in urban America? We need jobs, job training, drug rehab, and end the jail for profits industry that's taking place. First-class jails and second-class schools. I mean, those are for end the war in Iraq and end poverty at home. The issues that matter are kind of right there. They're not abstract issues. Fight for a job with a decent wage. That's clear, right? fight for a chance to go to school of your choice. It's kind of right there, right? Or when you get out of school, have a decent job, right? Don't self-destruct. So I don't think our goals for survival and making a contribution should be seen as that abstract.